Hey, everybody, it's Dave Fingers with my good friend Kyle Grivette. Kyle is the president and CEO of 3ACLEAN. How are you today, Kyle?
Doing great, Dave. How you doing?
Fantastic. You've had some good stuff happening in your life recently, huh?
Oh, I'm a new papa again. So I've got my daughter had her second child, a healthy baby boy, 11 pounds, 2 ounces of Madden Robert Arnold.
Well, congrats. That's awesome. That's
Thank
great
you.
news. So I was going to ask you today because obviously you built a successful business over the years, and one of the things that we've talked about just in conversation over the years is the importance of having a positive mindset when you were, just not only in life, but how important it is in business. So wanted to just ask you a couple of questions on, what is it that you do to maintain, one, to develop your positive mindset, and then to maintain that positive mindset.
Well, I guess the first thing is that you've got to be of mind that everything's not going to be perfect, and that we must continue to put one foot in front of the other. As trite as that sounds, you just got to keep on keeping on. So once you realize that, and that things don't come in neatly packaged boxes with bows on them, that sometimes things come broken in the package, you got to put it together to keep on going. So
Yeah.
I hope that analogy helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because life happens, right? So you just got to keep on keeping on. So, are there any tools or any books or things that you do to maintain your positive outlook and your positive mindset? Especially when you're going through tough times.
Yeah. Well, I played baseball, hardball competitively until I was 45. And
So you just stopped like 2 years ago then.
yeah. So, so anyway, in sports, the adjustments are made on the fly. The saying is that winners make adjustments and losers make excuses. Learn to make adjustments on the fly, and life works out better.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's
So
what sports did for me.
so you played till you were 45 competitively.
Yep.
Fastball, hardball.
Hardball.
Wow. So what's your greatest achievement in playing baseball for all those years?
Well, I was fortunate there at the last number of years, the last couple of years, to play with some really great athletes that I played with and against guys that played D1 college ball. Some of them had played minor league. Some guys had gotten paid for it. And I've faced some former minor league pitcher or major league pitchers.
Wow.
And, there's nothing that gets me fired up than, and that if they're pitching in a Sunday league with me in that league, they're not what they were when they were throwing in the majors, clearly. But there's just something about facing a guy that I would think about for the entire week that would, and then to get a couple of base hits off him because, and everybody wants to make a big deal out of, hey, he's a former major leaguer. And it's like, well, guess what? He ain't throwing it by me.
So you got hits off of them.
Big time. Yeah. It's like, I'm not laying down I don't care who you were. So I already have a competitive mindset.
Yeah. And, one of the things I was thinking about this, even before we talked about it the past week or so is, when the season starts out for competitive sports, everybody has that goal in mind of winning the championship, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, hockey, with the playoffs recently with hockey and basketball. It's a long season, but you keep your eye on that goal, but you have your milestones, and those milestones are each game that you play, right?
Right.
And I was relating that to business, and yes, you have your long-term goal for your business, or what a lot of us call our BHAG, or big, hairy, audacious goal. And then you have those milestones and those challenges as you go along, because challenge doesn't have to be bad. It's just a challenge, something you have to overcome to be successful, to get to that next step. And I see that's the same in business. It can just be acquiring a new client, getting to a certain level of revenue for your company, or having those certain levels of success on your way to whatever that championship is for you, for your business, which is that long-term goal that you have. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. Well, years ago, before we had reached the $1 million mark, you think about it, it's like, what does it take to reach the $1 million mark? Well, every month you got to make $833,333.33. And then one month you actually got to make 34 cents to make it the even mill. But, those are the milestones.
Yeah.
And then you figure out how to break it down, into the weekly and then the daily. What do we need to do all of those times? And then overcome the challenges. And they don't need to be bad things, but challenges arise. And it's like, oh, well, that was a piece that we didn't foresee or we thought about, but didn't think that it would come this quick or however it works out. Once again, make the adjustment, keep going.
Yeah, and I would say just to wrap up this conversation, the way to inspire yourself in business, if you're going to relate it to competitive sports, is that's why it's important to write down your goals and have that long-term goal, because thinking about that goal inspires you past the difficult times that you might have on your way there. Instead of saying, "Oh, it's never going to work out, I give up." It's like, no, there's my goal. I'm shooting for that. This is just I just struck out on this at bat,
Yeah, that's right.
So,
well, that's the other piece too. Speaking of sports and at bats, Major League Hall of Fame hitters only get a hit 1/3 of the time.
Right.
67% of the time they're out.
I was using that exact analogy a couple of weeks ago. Somebody said, "Oh, I did. It did. How'd your meeting go? Oh, it didn't go so well. I didn't get it." I said, "You know what? If you have a 30% close rate, that means you fail 70% of the time. And 30% close rate is not a bad close ratio, right?
Right.
I mean, we all want it to be 100% or 50%, but if you're closing 30%, you're doing a pretty darn good job."
Right. Absolutely, Dave. You've got a great mindset.
Thanks, man. And with that note, thanks for your time today, brother. This is an inspiring conversation. I got fired up for the week. I appreciate it.
You bet, Dave. Thank you.
All right, man. We'll talk soon.